recently Mike Huckabee came out and said that he was willing to leave the Republican Party over gay marriage. And I noted that Ann Coulter had said that she had said the same kind of sentiments regarding amnesty, and what I did is I went through the article, and basically I didn't attack single issue voters. I actually have a lot of respect for them because they take a look in a country where people don't take a stand, where people always want to be popular and always want to get along and be loved and all this kind of stuff. The single issue voters take a stand and are willing to absorb all these flaming arrows from people who, all the haters. And they're willing to stand up, and I think it's great that they stand up for their principles. The problem is it's not effective, and it causes a lot of losses. And I guess I really made two main points throughout the article, one of them being, look, suppose, okay, let's say that you say, well, my single issue is abortion. Okay, so if my candidate isn't pro-life, I'm out of there. I'm not going to go. Well, I'm pro-life. I can kind of see, okay. And then the next person says, okay, and if my candidate is soft in any way on amnesty, if they're like Rubio, I'm out of there. Well, okay, I kind of agree, but now you just lost some more voters. And now let's say somebody else does it on gun rights, then somebody else does it on non-interventionism, then somebody else on interventionism, then somebody else on marijuana. Here's the problem. Single-issue voting only works if nobody else does it. So if you're using a strategy where if anybody else does it, you're guaranteed to lose. Why would you want that as a strategy? That's not the best way to do it. And so I kind of go into better strategies and how they can actually advance their goals. Single-issue voters can advance their goals much more working with the team rather than trying to stand above it. That's kind of where I go.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that preaching to a really, really, really tiny audience that already agrees with you probably isn't the best way to expand your, your base group. It's probably not the best way to make sure that more people know about what it is you're talking about and want to help you out in advancing it.
Actually, there's a line in here that I just loved, and I wanted to underline it. If we want candidates to defend our single issues, then we must help our candidates by making these stances more popular. And this requires an expanding choir. Sorry, no quick fixes. I love the way you put that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it drives me. Think about it this way. Let's say you're a single issue voter and you tell a bunch of people, if our candidate does not embrace my issue, I'm out of there. Now, if you make that publicly known, who is going to listen to you about your issue? Who are you going to be able to convince about your issue? Nobody. The only people who are going to listen to you are people who agree with you on that issue. Everybody else is going to be offended because you put yourself over them. So now you've guaranteed that you cannot win anybody over to your issue. And what the right has right now, the conservative movement has, is kind of an overlapping of single-issue voters who one by one are driving away their audience and shrinking the choir. So they're preaching to shrinking choirs. We blame everybody out there, the media, academia, entertainment, and all this, and for the fact that nobody will listen to us. And yeah, they do a great job of what they're doing. They make it so fewer people listen to us. But maybe we should start looking at ourselves. Because when we say my way or the highway, the only people who are going to listen to me are my ways, people who already agree with me. We shrink our audience.
I think, too, if you look at the left, it's exactly the same thing. A collection of mostly single-issue voters. People have their one issue. We just saw that illustrated in the whole, turnout for what video with Little John and Rock the Vote. But what they do is they manage to realize that in their case, that rising tide lifts all boats, so that eventually it may not be the time for their particular issue to be front and center. They can be working in the background on that, but they're going to lift their brand up by supporting the brand and thereby drag their issue along with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They know that they know they work as a team. And as I've always said, the left is united around control, the desire to control people. And they don't care. One group wants to do it through environmentalism, and another one wants to do it through pro-choice movement, making pro-lifers pay for their choices. Another group wants to do it just through, through unions, controlling people. Another one through education, making it so parents can't choose where their kids learn, and so forth and so on. But they all agree on one thing. They want to control other people, move their money around, redistribute wealth, whatever. And when you're united around a central vision like that, you're willing to wait for your part of it to come along. On our side, we're supposed to be united around individual liberty versus that collective control. And if we unite around it and work together moving forward, then our single issues will win far, far more. But we don't do it. They are more united around control than we are united around liberty. And that's the bottom line.
This is unprecedented. The amount of self-destruction that's going on in the Democrats' inner workings the past couple of weeks.